So your voice is likened to a modern day Stevie Wonder. What do you feel about that?
Well, some people, when they ask me, they're a little bit apprehensive of asking me, or stepping on eggshells. But the reality of it is that growing up as a singer, and it's really important actually, because growing up as a singer, growing up where I grew up in church, the whole gospel scene. Well, Stevie, the whole Motown, the whole sound is Detroit.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of gospel singers. Even though I knew who Stevie Wonder was as a kid, I didn't have much of his stuff. My uncles and stuff like that had a lot of his records, had it in the house, but we had a lot of other gospel artists as well. But all of them were from Detroit. The Winans, Commission, Fred Hammond, all of these bands, they all came from Detroit.
Yeah.
And they all had that similar tone. And it was just like in my late teens, well, a lot of people said, no, you sound a lot like Stevie. And then going into my early 20s, a lot of people then came to me and said, well, I can hear Donny Hathaway in you. And at that time, I didn't even really know. I knew of Donny Hathaway. I didn't know any of his music.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was a friend of mine that gave me a record, and I heard it, and I got convicted listening to his sound. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that growing up, you're always influenced by something.
Yeah.
And no matter what part of the walk of life it is, whether you're a carpenter, a builder, an electrician, a singer, a footballer, a gymnast, you have someone that you draw inspiration from.
That's
that
right.
you want to be like. Every kid back in the day wanted to be a Michael Jackson or wanted to be able to moonwalk. And they used him as an inspiration. If you look at, Justin Timberlake and many other artists, like Neo, they all look at Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, they all talk about Michael Jackson as their main influence.
Yes, yeah.
So again, yeah, Stevie was definitely one of them, and also Donny Hathaway and a lot of the gospel artists I mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, Stevie, for a lot of artists, is a very good influence, but I can hear Stevie, and in fact, now you've said it, I can hear Donny Hathaway in your voice, and yeah, actually, that's a very good couple of parallels there. And you received a phone call from Stevie Wonder once, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. We were in Japan doing a tour, and Mesa, Incognito, she used to sing for Stevie. Yeah. He used to be part of his band, and when he was doing the Jungle Fever album and tour, she was involved in that. And obviously, she's still in contact with him. And at the time, we released the album Life. Sorry, what was it called again? It was called Adventures in Black Sunshine. And there's a song on it called Close My Eyes that I sing. And anyway, Mesa called me to her room. It's urgent, so I quickly came down to her room, and she just passed the phone over to me. And on the phone was Stevie singing the same song back to me that I sang on the record. So that was really cool. Just to say he was a big fan of my voice and really liked my style and stuff. And, what do you say to someone like that? And so all I could do was say, I like you too. In embarrassment. And then, okay, great, I've got to go. And put the phone down. So, yeah, it was a very surreal moment, but one that I'll always remember. And since then, I've met him a few times. And, he's a big fan of Incognito and some of the stuff, also worked on the Real People, and he really loves our version, his favourite version actually of Golden Lady, so yes. I was very happy to hear that too, so yeah, it's good.
Wow, yeah, that's really great. And hearing the story, it's so much better hearing it from you than reading it on a biography or something like that.
Yeah.
It's got a lot more feeling to it. So really, that brings us to the latest EP, Fly, which is due for release next month. And
that's right.
Yeah. So what was the inspiration on Fly? And tell us all about it.
Well, basically, the situation with Fly was, I had so much material for the album that I'm working on. And so it just came to a point where me and my label partner sat down and thought, you know what, that me and my label partner came down and thought that, we need to do an album. But more of an EP, just some stuff that just to put out there to fill the gaps of the album. So what happened was I just thought, wow, I've got all these songs, and some of the songs are not going to work for the album now because, when you're working on something's changed, it grows, it develops, and the sound changes. And I thought, wow, I want to go somewhere else with my album, and it's taking its natural shape now. So for the EP, I think it's just cool to put some flavours out there. It's not necessarily where the album is fully going, but it's some flavours that you'll catch my personality, my character throughout the songs, as well as it's something just to kind of fill the gap between now and my album, in the hope that, radio will take to it, as well as people will, keep my name on people's lips and in people's ears,
Well, we've got the whole EP here at Sound Fusion Radio, and we've been playing some of the tunes on it in rotation, and we'll be obviously stepping that up when we do your feature to incorporate all of them. But you know, I just love the drum work on Fly. I love the Real People remix of it as well. I mean, the Soulful House, just fantastic.
Thank you so much.
I play a Soulful House show on a Thursday night, and it's back-to-back in the mix, and you know, that's just the kind of tune, that Fly Real People remix that we have in that show. We already had your tune in the show, so it was brilliant. Absolutely loved it.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
It's really nice to hear. Thank you so much for that.
No problem at all. Spotlight, cool and laid back. What's the story on that one?
Listen, you know what? It's really funny, but I was actually in the studio with one of the guys that I write with, and he was playing some tracks for a project that we were writing on, actually. And I listened to this track back and forth, and it kept going round, and played a few other tracks. And I went back to that one. I was like, you know what? We can't use this for this act. Well, I'm keeping it. And I took it away with me, and Incognito at the time were about to go on a Brazilian tour. So we went to Brazil.
Yes.
And, you know, I remember with the guys, we went out to this bar, stroke restaurant. And while we were there, we were just chatting, and it was really funny because an Incognito song that I sing came on. And some of the guys in the band were like, hey, Tom, that's you. So it drew a bit of attention, and, you know, it was all cool. And across the way, I saw this girl, and she was really stunning, but it wasn't so much that. It was that she was really relaxed, really chilled, oblivious to the kind of like surroundings around her, just really with her friend, you know.
Yes.
And there was a few people trying to get her attention, talking to her, but she was just really being polite and getting on with it. She wasn't playing up or flirting in any way, anything like that. So, but I was just looking at her, and I was starting to like think, wow, this is really cool. You're really a cool person. You're very modest, you're really relaxed, and I like that vibe so much that it gave me the idea for the song. And so the idea of Spotlight was like, Spotlight is on someone that came into a place and all eyes are on her, and she doesn't kind of know it. And so I wanted to kind of, you know, convey that within a song, and obviously lead the main character and make it work that way. So that's how that came about.
Wow. There you go. It's a lovely tune, and I must admit, it's a real like for me. I really enjoyed that one. Absolutely. I mean, I enjoy them all, but that one really sort of jumped out and bit me. It was great. Loved it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Do you mind if I ask you a little bit more about some of the other tunes? Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure.
Get On Up. It's kind of got that hip hop backbeat. I guess that's on purpose. I mean, is there a bit of history going on there?
Mm-hmm. That is something that, again, you know, when I was saying to you that I did hip-hop and was in a rap group, and the idea of the EP is just to give some flavours of my personality and what I'm about.
Yeah.
But I wanted something like that, and I did that with Matt Cooper from Incognito.
Yes.
And we had it a little while ago, and I knew that it wasn't going to go on the album because that's not where the album's going, but I thought this has got to go on the EP because it shows a little bit of, you know, if people don't know much about me, if people that just know me from Incognito or Sade or Real People, so they get a little bit more of an understanding of who I am. And some of my roots. So that's basically what that was. And Get On Up, yeah, it's a very New York kind of sound. It's got a bit of grit to it, and it's just something that I want to have a street level vibe to it that will have a positive message at the same time.
It's definitely got the street level vibe. It's definitely got the message. It's a great tune, and the hip hop just comes riding through. I love it. It's And like you say, it's great variation on the EP. I mean, some EPs from start to finish, there's not a great deal of variance in what you've been given, but this definitely gives you a bigger flavour of you, Tony, and you know, and of your awesome vocal, shall we say, versatility.